According to Irish News, Manor Architects Moneymore are concerned about the old Magherafelt Council's procurement practice way back as far as 2011. Apparently, allegedly, Korean-based Given Architects were directly awarded 8 design contracts by the old council between 1995 and 2014 without going through the proper tendering process. What do you have to say to these claims?
How it came about was that we had, myself and my business partner Aidan Bradley, had been in discussions with a number of other consultants in the area. They hadn't asked as well about procurement and tendering, and we'd had a discussion about the number of projects that they'd completed in the local area. And as it turned out, there weren't really any. We then started to, I suppose, get the bit between our teeth, and it turned out that all of the projects that we could find information on had been awarded to the one architectural firm, which would be very uncommon. And we had been awarded through competitive tender projects through Cookstown District Council, which are just the neighbouring council, and their procedures had always been very stringent, but we had been invited to tender, which would be a standard. You wouldn't expect to get or be awarded all tenders, but you would expect to have an opportunity as a local firm to at least quote for those projects. That had never happened with the chief executive at the Magherafelt District Council at that time.
How do you feel about this? Apparently being snubbed?
It was extremely frustrating, particularly through the economic downturn. As an award-winning firm, Manor Architects had been established for 25 to 30 years at that point and had a very good reputation and delivered a number of successful projects in the area. But we were met with a blank wall with the chief executive, Mr. John McLaughlin, at that time. So we had written just to request a meeting to discuss it and just to, I suppose, put a face to the name on both sides. That had never been forthcoming and had always been refused. And it never, then what then happened consequently, even following on from those letters, there had been a contract awarded in Balahi, and we had just completed a restoration of the St Titus Church there. So it was an area that we were familiar with. So that added to our frustrations as it hadn't gone. We hadn't had an opportunity there, having already highlighted it to Mr. McLaughlin.
Now, the new mid-ulster council is looking into this. They've already had a meeting about it. Are they doing useful stuff on this? Are they charged with sorting this out to do with the old council? Where is that at the minute? Do we know anything about that?
I'm sure it's not something that they were aware of, and I have to say that our dealings with the new council have been extremely favourable. And again, it is unfortunate that they've obviously inherited this legacy and something again that they wouldn't have been aware of. Now I know that they will be doing everything in their power too, and they have been. We've actually just tendered for a project in that area, so it's a much more open and transparent council that we see now with the Mid-Ulster Council, but it will be something I'm sure that they'll be very keen to clear the decks and to make sure that everything that has preceded their establishment will be dealt with in the proper way. As you know, and the number of people and the new representatives that they have on the council, from our experience to date, have been very thorough and very professional in how they conduct themselves.
How far will you take this legally? Will you be seeking compensation if all of this is borne out? Will you be seeking prosecution if these allegations are all borne out, or will we just move on to the future?
That was never our aim with any of this, and certainly wouldn't be. We're not in the business of going down legal routes, if at all possible to avoid. As a company and a practice, our key thing is that we like to continually move forward, and everything that has happened in the past is in the past. But it's important that what we have wanted, and our aim about this, was a fairness and a balance to how individuals within very high profile positions conduct themselves, and that they are accountable when they're spending money from the public purse, and that everything that they do then has that level of professionalism, fairness and balance to it, and that they are held accountable when those decisions are not as they should be. But for Manor Architects, we're interested in moving forward, continuing and hoping to get some more awards if we can, and to provide the best service. The tenders are a separate issue. However, again, it just comes back to balance and fairness, and that everyone is given a crack of the whip, including other architects and consultants in that area that are qualified individuals.